Alright, alright. It's still live. It's still live. Oh shit, we still live. Oh shit.
One more time.
Y'all gonna figure that.
Alright. Hey, thank y'all for watching. This is What's the Skinny Podcast, hosted by myself, Skinny Pimpin' Rob. I got a plethora of people over here, and I'm about to pass the mic, and y'all just say who you are and what you back.
Hey y'all, I'm the other half of What's the Skinny, Mrs. Miller. I'm Nika.
I'm Trina. Thank you guys for letting me be a panelist.
What's up with y'all? I'm Josh. One half of the Sanders gang. Girl, go on here talking that mic.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Danny. Thank you for the invite, letting us vibe with you today.
I'm Royal, the outspoken one. Thank you for letting me be a part of the panelists.
Coffee.
Black. Yeah. That part. So, you know what I'm saying? What's the rules in the lifestyle as far as y'all are people?
It's a gold mic coming your way. See the gold?
Respect first and foremost. You gotta respect yourself, ones around you, the environment, everything. That's first and foremost before you start anything of the night.
I would like to say communication. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, before you step into the game, you got to have that communication with whoever you with. I think that's really important. So,
I would say leave the drama outside. This is supposed to be a place of fun and an escape, so just leave the drama outside.
Don't be that couple.
Um, no means no. That's the most important. Just that. I mean, there's no explanation. No means no. Period. If you're told no, that's what it is. No. Move on to the next. It's just that simple.
I'm the host, so be yourself. Don't be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Don't fake the funk. Don't try to impress a lady or a man that you know you're not. Period.
Y'all pretty much covered all the important stuff. Um, don't. My thing is don't be forceful. It's all supposed to be natural. You just kind of supposed to let it happen. Everybody had a hit list and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's about. I mean, a list of names you trying to hit. I mean, I would think so. It's like you can go by that list, but most of the time, I doubt you 100% on that because you might not be feeling that person at that time. So just my thing is just don't force nothing because for one, that's gonna drive people away from you, and yeah, just be respectful. Most definitely respect unicorns, bulls, respect everybody's relationship most importantly. And everybody who's in these relationships, you need to respect your own relationship as well. Um, Dealing with unicorns and bulls and just other people's other couples. So yeah.
So all of those were great. But it's gonna tie into this one thing, and I feel it's essential, and that's being willing to learn. We talk a lot about mentorship, whatever your form of being willing to learn is. To be effective at anything, though, to be a great leader, all great leaders at some point follow. and you have to be willing to kind of learn what it is that you're in. First and foremost, I do hear people say they jumped in and they kind of learned as they went through trial and error, but there's such an easier way to do this where you don't have to run up against a wall as you're trying to live this. And some of that is through guidance, some of that is by asking questions from your vets that are out here, not just any vet. A successful vet is not someone that just because they've been in this for the last 30 years and they're claiming time, that's not what makes a successful vet. What you're looking for is someone that actually practices what it is that they're preaching to you, that can answer your questions but are living a life of the example of what the answers they give you. And just their lifestyle in itself. I don't think I would want to sit and get mentorship from anyone that seemed like their lifestyle is chaotic in themselves. Why would I want to learn from you? But to navigate this whole community, it's going to be a lot of things that come up that are totally opposite of anything you ever learned in what we call the vanilla world. And that's that traditional world, one man, one woman, we're together, we don't do anything outside of this relationship. That's what you learned out there in what we call the world. Until you traveled over here on the LS side. Over here on the LS side, a lot of what we believe in, what we do, goes totally against the traditional norms that society has taught you. And the only way to kind of stay grounded and not get lost in the matrix of this is you sometimes need somebody that you can go to and be honest and open with and say, hey, okay, I've never done this before, and over here this seems quite normal to y'all, but I'm struggling with it, and what do I do with these emotions and these feelings, and so on and so forth. So I feel like one of the basics of the basics is being willing to learn the basics.
I would say honesty. Be honest with yourself first of what you can and can't do, what you can deal with, what you can't, before you enter any aspect in the lifestyle as a unicorn, as a bull, or now a couple. If you're not honest, nothing else is going to flow right. You're not there. You're not going to have no communication. You're not going to want to listen to mentorship. You're not going to know how to be yourself. You're not going to know how to do anything we said if you're not honest first.
And if you a couple, if you a couple, somebody gonna fuck your mate real good. So you got to know how to handle it.
Crying in the corner and shit.
But that's the thing. You may not.
I'm gonna cut you out there. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
We're done.
No, I was done, but I was just gonna say, to piggyback on yours, if you see something like that and it makes you feel some type of way, in your opinion, should you let the session finish or should you interrupt it in that moment?
Everybody's going to be different. It depends on where you're at in maturity within the LS. So the reason why I say that is because people think vets, not just because they think it, vets have a tendency to lead people to believe that they never go through emotions that they see people that first come into this go through. And that's not true. Everybody that is human has the ability to go through a human emotion at any given moment inside of this.
So jealousy and envy is an emotion.
It's a real emotion.
It's a real emotion.
Anger,
Everybody at
confusion.
This motherfucking table in this house has been jealous of something. Not on some hater shit. It's on some
human emotion stuff.
Like you remember you was a kid and you see a nigga with a new shoe.
Right.
But you ain't hating because he got a new shoe. You just like, nigga, he got it. You know what I'm saying? So, it just, you just got to know how to control it.
So on that, I got a question I want to add. So the question is, so you get a new couple coming to a lifestyle, right? And as a vet or more experienced in a lifestyle, let's just say they talk that they ready. They get into the situation or the experience. I won't say situation, experience, right? I'm pretty sure it's blatant that you can see the discomfort on their first experience. Second, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I see.
That couple.
You're right. That couple.
That's that couple.
That couple relationship.
I'm going to kill your question.
Right,
That's that couple. When you see that couple, you know who that couple is.
Right.
They walk through the building. And you know your folks. you know, like if you got a click tight fucking foundation, unicorns, bulls, and couples. Y'all know everybody at this table got somebody that you click tight with. Everybody in this house and everything. Y'all know that couple when they walk in, it's not like you rolling your eyes, cause they still could be your folks.
Right.
You just like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause one thing in lifestyle, I'm not babysitting nobody. We all grown. All grown. So I'm not about to babysit you. I'm not about to look out for you. I check on you if you're my homie, like you good. But when the shit escalate on some, like, between you and her or her and him or her and her, no, I'm not about to do that.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like, if it's your first time, and it goes what Roy was saying, that mentorship is important because if you come into the experience with some veterans, they peep that. They're gonna sense that, and a good veteran is gonna say, "Look, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. How are you feeling?" And that goes with what you were saying. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. If you feeling some type of way, this is your first time, you agree to this, you need to maybe have a veteran put you to the side in that moment and say, you know what? How you feeling? What's up?
And good vets actually do that. If I had to tell you how many different scenarios I've seen at various times where someone might just be sitting off to themselves, and we remember when it was us, everybody else in the room comfortable, they've been doing this, and you kind of knew, and you like, okay, am I supposed to be sitting like this, looking like this, y'all getting dressed down? Instead of looking over those individuals, remembering what it felt like when it was you, and just walking up and asking, you okay? Is this your first time? You see a new couple in the game, what Josh was trying to get to, you see, all right, they getting ready to go in the wrong direction. As a good vet, yes, you want to kind of try to, hey, let me holler at you for a minute. Y'all all right? Everything good? Y'all got some questions? Sometimes they will talk to you and sometimes they won't. So you don't force it, but what you just did was planted a seed that when they're really ready to kind of learn this and iron out in this, they'll never forget the person that walked up to them and took the chance to find out what was going on. So it's twofold. Just as much as we need to be willing to learn, we also got to be willing to reach back and try to show the way to those that are willing to drink from the water.
It's a great lifestyle.
Like, when the first time I had met y'all, well, especially like you, Nika and Rob, it was my first night ever going. I went by myself, and y'all approached me. Matter of fact, the first person I met was Rob. He didn't know me from a hill of beans. He don't have to speak to me, but he did. He recognized my picture from Facebook and being in the group, and he was like, "Hey, aren't you so and so?" I am, and he was, and it just went from there, and the way it was being embraced. So even now, I tend to meet a lot of guys, a lot of men that are new to the lifestyle, and they'll ask me questions. And yes, I could tell you from my perspective, but the answer I tell them, you need to get under some mentors, and I'll tell them at least a few that I trust will walk and help and guide them through. Now it's up to them to do it, and I pay attention to show how much you're real about this life, because you're asking, you want answers. I sent you to the best direction. Will you actually do it?
And that's the difference between having, real lifestylers and opportunistic people in the game.
And can I say one more thing? Men, when you find out that you've met a bisexual woman, which is a lot of us, it is not her responsibility to get you a threesome. It makes you want to earn finding out that other aspect of me.
That's a very great rule. Let's implement that as a rule. Just because I'm bi.
And I will say something about what y'all said about being an opportunist. I feel like some individuals get being in the lifestyle confused with being an opportunist, because some people are just in it just to fuck. They're not in it to build relationships, to build good vibes, to get to know people. They just in it for the opportunity.
Right.
This is the place where I can probably get some pussy.
Beneficial
9 times out of 10, I can't get none in the real world. In the real world, so I'm gonna use this as an opportunity just to fuck.
You know how you can tell
Which is unfortunate.
One of the great ways, but I gotta use the mic because I talk real loud. I gotta use the mic.
Y'all ain't gonna hear it, y'all gonna be.
Okay. We'll use the mic. And so one of the great ways that you can tell that people are like that they're opportunists, is that right for you? Versus really being about this thing is listen to what they say in the event they end up with a mate. One of the first things I home in on is if you've been around here knocking down everybody else's chick or knocking down everybody else's man, and then one of the first things you say to me is when you get your boo, you good on the LS?
That part. That part.
I'm being real. That's a red flag to me. Cause you in here, you got Christmas, every kickback, every party, every event. You sexing everybody's mate, but then when you get yours, you gonna run out of the LS and cuff it. That lets me know you're not holding the LS mind, and these are just opportunities for you. And I listen to men and women talk like that. Just watch what they post and watch what they say, and it reveals itself, because I say all the time the LS is an X. I don't care how much you fuck. I don't care how freaky you get. I don't care what you do. The LS is not about the sex that you do. It's about the mindset that you hold. And this is the reason why you can fuck 50 people in a year and still fall out of the LS and walk away wanting to blame it all on the LS, but you never held an LS mind.
About to say, or they stay in the lifestyle and leave they mate out that they meet.
Exactly. That's what I said. That's a good point. That's a good
I
point.
love it.
They not LS. You ain't LS either, boo.
That was good. So, what is the key as a couple to keep your relationship strong in the LS?
And direct communication.
That part.
Listen, you can't beat around the bush. You can't beat around the bush in the lifestyle. In my experience, my mate and I, just a little background on us. We together for 2 years, and we've been kicking it strong. But the reality of this dynamic is, she realized who I was. I realized who she was. When it came down to certain things that we did sexually or whatever, communication was key. Everything was direct. Baby was like, you know what? Hey.
And when you
You feel me? So
I'm sorry, Josh. I was just gonna say, but when you communicating, make the communication intentional. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
What you say.
Don't say that you want one thing and you really don't want it or want something else.
Tippy-toeing
around something.
or what it is, or
Right.
even when it comes
No,
down
let me
to
know.
No,
what
okay.
I don't like.
right. So and at the end of the day, Cam was a strong woman outside of me. She wasn't looking to be saved or anything like that. So that's why, for me, we working. You know what I'm saying? And it's working for us because, look, we go home some nights and say, babe, we had a motherfucking ball. You know what I'm saying? And we enjoy that time together. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we deal with life struggle and life's bullshit every day. So when we together, we get to be us.
Get to be you.
That shit is fun. Hey, listen, ain't nothing like it. Like Rob said earlier, everybody get a little jealousy or whatever the case may be. But I think communication and knowing how to talk about this shit.
It takes care of
And,
all of that.
and that's why I feel like we belong here. We've been embraced by the group. People understand that we come in, we're not being anybody else that we're not supposed to be, but ourselves.
Remember that post I put?
So, baby, go ahead and talk a little bit. Anyway, but
What I want to say on this, that's what I mean by having like minds or having the lifestyle mind. You can have we're just really meeting Josh and Cam within so many months, but it's such a natural fit. And that's because that's what's called like minds. Now, when I say by like minds, I'm not talking about like sexual acts. I'm talking about mentalities that mesh and mold, that get it. And one of the key things he said as a couple is she knew and accepted me for me, and I knew and accepted her for her. Couples coming into this newly couples that been in the lifestyles, individuals forever. Once you become a couple, the main thing that Coffee and I understood was we had to accept each other for who we truly are. And it's really what I love about him. And I believe it's truly what he loves about me. When you find someone that truly thinks as you think, see things how you see things, like you said, the playback, playing the night back, you know, but also having someone that you can be right. Oh, I heard you over there. She was tearing that ass up. Well, when you can talk like that and be free, but when you also can say, but you know what, babe? I ain't like when you had so and so and so and so and so and so. That didn't make me feel good. Now I feel like I can trust in my vulnerability inside of this lifestyle, that when I come to my mate and say, I don't like when you do that, and he shows me, he heard me, that pussy's not bigger than us. And when he says to me, you know what, boy, I don't kind of like when it, okay, and he sees me moving that.
Not only let me know you hear me, but don't let it happen.
But don't let it happen again. Now, don't give me a sorry and you go back and the next kickback to do that shit all over again.
And also, I'm going to cut y'all the wings off. And also,
No, not on the camera.
Follow play.
We just had technical difficulties.
but and also, men, y'all say what the fuck y'all want to say. Don't be no fucking pussy, cause you don't want that man having sex with your wife or your girlfriend, your fiance. Tell her, look, no, I don't want him. I don't want him to fuck you. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, most men, as far as myself, when I have sex with my wife and another woman, we think like we got all the pussy, but then we see a man get on my wife on some beating the brakes off her ass, and you be like, yo, no, I want that.
I love that because we deal with two things inside this lifestyle. We deal with the men who cuff their women and can fuck as many women as they want, but as soon as she wants some extra dick, wifey ain't into all of that, or she only want my dick. You got that one side, but then you also had a side because of that one side where men feel like they cannot be honest with their women and say, you know what, babe, that's really a no for me, because he's going to come off like he's cuffing her and she can't play with other dudes, okay? So it's twofold. It goes back to that original question of Rob's about couples and coming into this. One of the main first things you need to do as a couple, on top of being honest and communication and all that, set your ground rules. You two need to sit down and in open conversation set some ground rules on how the two of you are going to execute your lifestyle relationship. It ain't about Joe Schmo over here. That's how they doing. They look fly. That's what they're doing. They can mentor you. They can tell you how it works for them. It's up to the two of you, though, to then sit down and say, hey, okay, well, we heard what Coffee and Roy was saying work for them. How you feel about when he had said, you okay with that? And if it's okay with y'all set those ground rules. Don't do it before you go into a party. Y'all need to do this in the beginning of coming into the lifestyle as a couple. So that way, anybody on the outside of your relationship cannot tear up what y'all have going on, because y'all on the same page. The other part that's important is to always revisit those rules. Grow as y'all grow. Because month one, y'all say, you know what? Yeah, I'm cool when you do X, Y, and Z. Well, now my feelings done grew. Okay, and we got more time in with each other. I might not be cool with that no more. Shit changes. And you need to come back to the drawing board and say, okay, are we still cool with solo playing? We still good? Okay, we still good. Maybe we not good no more. We only gonna swap. It's up to the two of you to stay current inside of your relationship with your rules.
My biggest thing, I always tell Josh, I like to move proactively instead of reactively. So whether it be rules or with a particular person, if there's a problem, say it. Don't sit here and you know, we kikiing with this person all night and then we go play with them and stuff. But then when we get home, it's an issue between me and you. say that beforehand. Let's discuss this. Say what the issue is. I don't even care if you don't want me to play with them. Period. That's it. So you just have to be open.
What is play? What do that mean?
It's a fuck session.
Yeah. You have a session. I mean, whether you go all a little bit or a lot of bit, it's a session.
For terminology purposes, you have soft swap.
Soft swap. That's what a lot of people hide behind that. A
I
lot
don't
of
think
people hide
nobody at
behind
this
that.
table is soft swap, but soft swap is we just going kiss and touch and pet up each other's mates. We swap in a session, and that's the most we're gonna do.
Or one does and not the
I'll
other.
knock y'all.
I'm just playing.
I'll knock
Not to be disrespectful, because you do have people even in the EAV that's into soft swap, and that's y'all's thing. But okay. And then we have full swap, and that's where we go in full gusto. That's penetration. That's Okay.
Listen, you can't do this with the fool. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
What's the other one? You got. Danny said that's when you get dick down.
Bro, you hear me? If you can't salute with the fool, you ain't ready.
Now, when I've been in 16 years, so back when I first came in, we had a terminology that was called feasting. Okay.
I like that term.
Now, what feasting went along with is back before all of this social media that we have now. We used to have all this. So the most I think we had back then was this is back in the MySpace times and all that.
Black Planet.
Black Planet and all that. So you waited for an email. The email told you. So you waited for an email. The email, you didn't even get a text message. You waited for an email that told you where the party was going to be. What hotel, this is that and the other. Yeah, see, I come back from the time. I'm a little dumb. So I come back from the time where here in Atlanta where Swingers Date Club, I remember when they first started in our community, in the black community, and it wasn't big yet. Okay, and we used to meet at hotels and different things like that. We didn't have all the social media. So what feasting was, it was no different. We didn't have all the LS venues to go to. So we used to have to go to vanilla nightclubs, and we would go out, and what it was called was hunting. We was hunting who we wanted to take back home. Well, who we would and eventually would feast on. So when we would sit and talk about what we were doing for the night, you had different categories, and feasting was one of them. Feasting meant we going out, and when we hunt, it's a full buffet. Any and everything goes. Okay, so I quickly transcended into feasting. Every time I went out, I wanted to be feasting because it took so much to make those connections and enjoy. Now we have the Facebooks and all this kind of stuff, and you have easier access to people. But you have just different levels of how people play in this. And yes, soft swap is one. Not every couple is into full swapping, so you have your threesomes. You have your full blown out orgies, so it's just different levels to it, and none of which are bad. Is what your comfort level is.
Like we were saying earlier, even within couples, sometimes the men are full swap and the woman likes to soft swap. So, to each his own. So.
I got a question. Yeah, what I'm saying? I'm live on Facebook too. The question is, I'm in our group, you know what I'm saying? So, how do you find a partner in the LS?
Ooh, careful.
Think about it. Y'all want to think about it. Or if you got a quick answer,
Is that after you've been in the lifestyle or originally?
just how you find a partner in the LS.
So this can I answer that? So I think we all have been there in the vanilla world. First and foremost, let's just say we've been dating, right? I know for a fact that a man can pick up on signs of a freak. And I'm not you. Check me out. Vice versa, you can pick up on signs of that man. Oh, he with the shit. So at the end of the day, if we can recognize that in the vanilla world, right, and not be so scared and afraid to be open about what the fuck we like, then why can't you just bring it to it? That's how I feel like you find them. Listen, because if you're not honest with yourself, you live in a bowl full of lies. So, we know parents back in the 50s and 60s knew they, God damn it, what you mean I got to come home and do this for the rest of my life? They not honest with themselves. They couldn't because they was afraid to be open like we are. This is a table or a forum or a group or a lifestyle that people can be honest with themselves when they make. You know, within correct. That is correct because at the end of the day, we have to separate the two. We can turn it on, turn it off, but at the end of the day, like to answer Rob's question, you have to hone in on those. Your senses ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, wait a minute, is she? Whoa, is that the left ball? Shit, she would. I like it. Okay. So when shit like that happen, you got to be able to talk to your mate because if you come over to the lifestyle, guess what? It's some freaky shit that go on, and if you ain't with it and you're not honest with yourself about, with your mate, she gonna be appalled. Like, nigga, did you just eat her booty without?
I didn't know we was eating booty.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a question on that. So, like, how you say, what if you meet someone that when y'all first meet, you think this person is a freak, and this person is not so much of a freak, but the not so much of a freak opens up and start doing more of the freakiness.
So in that point, okay, so
That's a teachable spirit.
definitely that's it. Because at the end of the day, listen, for my situation, I'm speaking on my experiences, right, babe? Babe, we comfortable with that.
You better be a leader.
Well, I had to wrap the mic. Right on.
I'm about to say some shit.
I feel like I was leading right there. Like,
I'm
following you, baby. I'm right with you. I love it.
It was a good joke.
So, yeah,
But that's respect.
I love it.
right, because
You got it, baby.
I know she gonna put me to the bathroom and say, but at the end of the day, check me out. So, I was introduced to lifestyle before my mate was. You get what I'm saying? So, she was more vanilla hoe at the end of the day, right? But like I said, is that the left ball? And I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker. I don't like this. So at the end of the day, what happened was I approached her with a situation or party, and babe was like, "What the fuck?" At the end of the day, and I had to relax a little bit. I said, "Damn, she gonna think I'm weird." And that's me personally, but guess what? My senses was not wrong.
Your senses weren't wrong. That's what makes the difference.
No, I did think he was weird. I did think he was.
It was somebody that has had the opportunities to go through the ups and downs and the experiences and all that, but that don't have to be everybody's story. And then I do, and I'm gonna give it to you, Dan. I know you're waiting, but I want to bounce back on Rob asking the question of how do you find your LS mate? And Josh started with a good statement, and that was you have to be honest with what it is that you want. You're going to hear a lot of people tell you you shouldn't want an LS mate. You ain't in this for feelings. You're in this for sex. And part of that is true and all that too. However, I didn't get a good LS mate because I've had all kind of LS mates, entanglements and everything else. But I didn't get the solid relationship, LS relationship, until I was honest with myself saying that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be a unicorn anymore. Okay, and I didn't just want to be doing threesomes all the time. I wanted to walk because I am LS. Probably gonna die, LS, and I wanted to live out the rest of my journey with someone else that felt the same. But as long as I was sitting saying, nah, my feelings ain't in this, it ain't about feelings, I'm just fucking, he couldn't come, okay? But the moment I started saying, you know what, I'm dead with this unicorn shit, I want more than what I'm doing as a unicorn, it opened up the door for somebody else that wanted more too, to be on the same page. So you first got to know what you want in this.
I was gonna say I disagree just slightly when you said as far as when you got introduced to you see you're doing like LS things and threesome. I guess for me when I was vanilla, I was already doing everything I do now. I really don't do anything differently except I get to sit in a room with other people who do too. Whereas a vanilla, I'm the only one, and I'm just like, ooh, if y'all knew what my weekend was like, y'all took the kids to the zoo, and I was swallowing kids at the,
But I
you know what I'm
was
saying?
saying,
So we were doing some, you know what I mean? We had
It's the same,
different.
same exact thing for my vanilla too. The only difference, because it wasn't like I was able to sit around. I wanted to. I wanted to tell somebody so bad about the fire weekend I had,
Oh, yeah.
or the nasty shit I just did, but had nobody. You know, you get to talk with your coworkers. They're a little slutty or whatever, so you can tell them some shit.
Vicariously.
Through
Yeah,
you.
but through you.
I know
but
mine
you only
did.
went so far because you knew the judgment that would be there.
And HR.
Okay. And, you know, so you know, it was the same thing. You know, you sitting there and all that, but then you come over in this room and you're like, oh, I could talk to everybody about this.
Right.
You get some
Exactly.
nastier shit. Like when your next party, that kind of shit.
Exactly.
So I think when and I like to speak on the fresh couples too, because at the end of the day, like we all know, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here interested. They scurry, but they interested. So the new people that would like to indulge, just like Royal said, just know what you want, man, and listen. Be true to those feelings. At the end of the day, it ain't bad because you're a freak. Like what the fuck? Like it's not a bad term. It's not. It's just, you know what I'm saying. But honestly, if you knew, and if I met you in the streets or vanilla world, and I say, look, this is what I'm into, you have to give that person an option first, and I believe that. You can't force a person into being into what you're into. And once you realize that in that relationship or the situation, you got to make a break for it. Because you know what? It's about you. You get one life. This is what this is about for me. You know what I mean? You get one life. If I hide everything of who I am, I will not die fulfilled. You know, and that's how I feel about it. And that's why talking to Kim about my interest in, you know, sexually or in the lifestyle period is important to me, because I've been married before, so I know the mundane of what a man's living is like. God damn! And guess what? I've cheated. I'm gonna keep it 100, keep it a buck. You know. You know. So.
I ain't never cheated.
So.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
Selling all my business on camera.
I didn't. You know.
You ever cheated on somebody?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, no.
I have.
I haven't
See-
need some too honest for that.
But see, this is the thing, and my mate has not either. You know what I'm saying? So when I told her that, and I went more in depth.
Okay, we
Yeah.
loyal.
So I went more in depth about, you know, my experience with my ex. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, like I would get cheated on. I'd be like, God damn. You got to come holler at me, baby. We can put the game on 2 players.
Because you have to be
Put the game on 2
Okay,
players.
that's how we
And
pass the mic
That's
around.
where my cheating would come in. I put the motherfucking game on. He made a good point.
No, I was-
My cheating always was, oh, we gonna put this game on 2
Exactly.
players. That's what we doing. Then that's what we're doing.
I feel that.
But it goes back to what you were saying though.
I don't want to make an excuse.
No, but the thing is that goes back to what you were saying.
I'm loyal to that part. I'll ride to that. Look, I'm a chorus all day long. I'm loyal, but once we this the game we play.
Right. But see,
How my 2 players is, I'm finna go over here with your homeboy.
right.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
we gonna play
That's not gonna happen no more.
How we gonna
That's how my
play
2 players is.
How we gonna
And but see, that's
But
what
I'm
we
not
was
gonna
talking
beat
about
you
as
no
far
more.
as like
I'm
being
not
honest
cheating.
about
It's not gonna
what you
happen no
want.
more.
Because like if you've been honest about what you want, you'll be the situations like that won't happen. Because like I said, I've been married. I cheated because I wasn't honest about what I wanted. And when my ex-husband and I have talked years after the fact, and we actually kind of was interested in the same shit, but we was too stubborn, too scared, too young to really be honest about it. So it didn't go right. Like I literally got out of being detained at the border because my friend who I was riding with was on her phone when she wasn't supposed to be at an international border, and they was like, give me a phone. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you know what, you're going to see some stuff that's a little, you know, risque in the phone, and he got to search it, and he gave it back. So he was like, so, can I ask why you have so much stuff like that? So I was just like, we're swingers. And he was just like, oh, he was like, well, How does one become a swinger and everything? I put the fucking van in park because I was like, we about to be here a little bit. I shit you not, we talked to him for 15 minutes. Line backed up probably all the way back to Detroit. And we're just talking to him about how he can talk to his wife about his interests and introducing her to stuff and everything.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. My past has really opened me up to who I am today. You know what I mean? If you don't learn anything, you don't advance in life. I'm not going to preach because I'm a youngster, but anyway, let me go on real quick. So what I've been through in life has brought me to today. You know what I mean? So experiences that I've learned, situations I've been uncomfortable in, like damn. Or, like I got some deep stories about being cheated on and vice versa. It's to the point where I don't want those emotions or feelings no more. So to alleviate that, I'm honest with myself. I won't settle. And vice versa. I don't want the person that I'm fucking with to settle either. So any hidden agenda or anything in the background for me is unnecessary in today's life of mine. You know what I mean? So if I'm being genuine with you, be genuine with me 100%.
But
Oh, I'm passing my.
I've been having sex since I was 10. I was 10. So I've been comfortable with myself for a long time. So I get what you're saying with the being cheated on. Me knowing what I want and who I am, I've always been honest. I've always been bisexual. Since I can remember being 5 years old looking at booty. Like, this is me. And I've always been open to every man that I've ever encountered. So with me and him, it was always, this is who I am. You either gonna take it or leave it. Because I came out of some bullshit where I was me and he still cheated. Like, there was no need for you to go cheat. We could have fucked her together.
Bisexual women
Like-
are the best women you can ever get.
So when I met him, I'm like, okay, this is me. All of me on the table. So how you gonna? Okay, well, I'm with it because I like bisexual. Okay, so we started out with communication. That's what I lacked in previous relationships. So in this one, everything is here. We're going to put it all on here. We're going to tell me what you like, what I like, and this is how we are here. Everybody say this shit perfect. We're not perfect by far. We're not. We're perfect for each other. It's a difference, a big difference.
It takes a mature person. It takes a different mind state because, you have people out here, both men and women, who will tell you they cannot be faithful. They
That
they'll
part.
get married or dating or whatever, and they'll say they cannot be faithful. They'll be out here cheating left and right, but they love that person. But they out here cheating left and right, and then you have
It says some people know how to love you in their feelings, but they can't show you love in their actions.
right, and that's just
I got you.
confusion. That's fear because, like for instance, we have someone who's in our life. He cheats left and right, but then you tell him about the lifestyle. And he left and right, up, down, left, right, all that.
Sideways.
A-B star.
You tell him about the lifestyle, and he's like, "What? You let that happen with your girl, the one you love? Like what? You cheating on the one you love?"
But I will say this,
Okay, y'all.
I will want all the
I'm
things
a-
that you can get out here.
It's very selfish, but I will say that if you was gonna be a cheater before, you're gonna be a cheater in the lifestyle also.
That's exactly what I said.
So it
Okay.
doesn't make a
That's
difference.
selfish, you
It's
know,
very much
like-
selfish,
And
but
the reason why that is because people equate or they think, well, since you like multiples and variety and you can't help yourself, come to the lifestyle and that'll fix it for you. And it's not so because you honed on the key things. It's about a mindset. So you see how when you're talking to that individual, what he's saying is, what? You share your lady? Because that's not what it's about. He don't hold a lifestyle mind. He's the classic. If you cheat out there, you're going to cheat in here. Okay?
And those are the
Same
guys that I would not like to engage in my relationship, my dynamic. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You here to cause nothing but friction, problems, and confusion. Yeah.
All right, y'all. We got a question.
Okay, so we have a question from Kelly Kells Singleton. She says, "What if the chemistry is there between you and someone other than your mate, and you end up doing more than what you expected? How do you handle the situation with your partner if your partner has an issue with how you played?
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Because this is what is simple as this. Who
That's
means
right.
more to you?
Right.
What means the most to you?
Your relationship or that fuck for that moment.
And some fucks can be
Right.
great fucks, okay? And some chemistries can be great chemistries, and I get all of that, right? At the end of the day, I watch people put up something solid that they have with someone for moments that they had with another individual, thinking that they're going to build that whole dynamic with them too, okay? But life happens too, Kel. So you're having this great sex and you got this great chemistry and all that. But until you have an opportunity to be around that individual dealing with more than just great sex sessions, where you could see them in broke situations, you could see them in prospering situations, you could see them in stressful situations, you could see if they're going to still ride with you when you ain't looking your best, and you see, when you get all of that, and then you can compare the two, and you looking at those saying, oh, well, but this bond is just, you got to look at that whole picture and not just the 1-2 things that seem great. And I know how that the whole entanglement shit happens. I've been there. And it do be great, and it be firecrackers, and it be all of that. Now go live real life with them,
Right.
and see if it still be the same thing.
Another thing, it might be what you need in that moment. I had a
There
situation
you go.
recently. I had an amazing play session with a friend of mine's partner. But here's the thing and it was what I needed in that moment. But the moment is done now.
Right.
I don't need anything else. So you don't confuse that chemistry and what it was in that, however long the session is, for something that's long lasting. That's not what it is. It's like when you see a smoke cloud, it's all full until it dissipates. Same concept with that chemistry. The moment it's done, let it be where it is. Let it be that moment.
And I think somebody had made a comment on the last show saying that basically the first priority is home. Like that's your first responsibility is home. Regardless of what chemistry you have during that session, you have to take care of home first. Make sure home is right first and everything else fall in place.
If home ain't right, everything.
Ain't nothing else
I'm
gonna
a
be
firm
right.
believer that if home is
So-
not straight, it's everything that's not right. It's
Especially
going to
with
spill
kids.
over into your LS realm. It is. Your play sessions, your connections with people. Because I would say, Kels, the thing to do at that point is to go back to your mate. And you and your mate need to go back to the drawing board. And you need to kind of try to figure out how did that bond even get in there from in the first place. Okay? Because great sex is great sex. But let's be real. If it's things that's going on inside of the relationship where there might be voids that somebody else can come along and fill, you'll get those great kind of connections like that too. So you got to sit down with your mate, and maybe I don't feel like you've been paying me enough attention like I need to feel fulfilled at times. And then this one comes along and we get around each other and I'm just the prettiest thing and the best thing since sliced bread, and you making me feel good for the 4-5 hours we around each other. Okay, so it goes back to going back to your mate in that honest and transparent communication and saying, okay, I think I'm in too deep. Okay, or this is what's going on, but this is how I got there. And only you know how you got there.
What's the old song is? Something about the way it feels is so real. That real.
That was a
real
musical interlude.
That real might take over and crumble your whole existence with whoever you is with because it's real at that moment.
And then on a twist off that, as the partner at that moment, do you cut in right then and there like ho big dogs, let's end this, or do you wait until the end? Like,
Guys,
I say,
As,
Not only is it embarrassing to you and your partner, I mean, it's embarrassing to the host of the party, wherever you are. Like, that shit is embarrassing. I say wait. Or even if you can't wait, pull them to the bathroom. I, too, have to have a moment where I had to pull this nigga to
let me talk to you for a minute.
Let me holler at you real quick. Go off. Don't let nobody see that.
Because if you don't wait, when you all finally work out yourself at home, you now ruin a potential play partner.
That part.
Because they're so uncomfortable, they're so outdone.
They
That's
gon-
cool that y'all figured it
First
out.
impressions
but
is a
I'm
motherfucker.
good on the
That
next
part.
session.
That
And
part.
it-
I gotta spin off on that. So on that pull off that you do have, you take it to the side. The way you pull off is going to affect what's trust, and
It is.
that
you're
position never
absolutely-
going again.
If you in a relationship, if you is in a mature, healthy relationship,
That part.
and
Mature.
a little envious or jealousy came across your brow, you going to your partner like, hey man, or hey girl, rise up with it, talk. So your partner gonna look at you like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Alright, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh
Let me
shit.
holler at you real quick.
Yeah. And then if you really, like I said, mature and a
It's
real
gonna be
solid,
that quick
Yeah.
boom, and then y'all good. Nobody's gonna know that y'all had a quick talk in the bathroom or down the hall or wherever, because
I done seen,
Like how
we
you
done
said,
seen, me and wife done
that
seen
part.
folks like
but you're
square
absolutely
up.
correct. The
I
way
think-
that you pull that person off is
I think the key words that Rob said were mature and healthy. If your relationship is not healthy and solid, then it's never going to work.
Right. And that you have to have rules come into a party. Like, I mean, I don't, unless y'all whatever for whatever, but that's a rule too. Whatever is whatever. But you have to have some ground basing coming in, because you can't set those rules in the middle of it, the shit, you know. So, you know, that's between y'all. Even if the shit is no people with black draws, that's y'all rule, and stick to the motherfuckers. Stick to it.
I'm gonna also say this, like, yes, I think the couples, like, you know,
That's his shirt. Hey, that's his shirt.
Right now?
Don't trip on black draws.
I was gonna say, like, yes, couples do need to have their rules, but for those singles that have been invited into that dynamic, be respectful, because you may not necessarily be seeing jealousy, you might be seeing territorial. But see, jealousy is I feeling some type of way about something you doing or something you got. Territorial, you disrespecting what's mine. So, you know, it be it my bond with my mate, be it something. So be careful in which way you're going.
How do you approach that? Like, how do you approach that when you're at an event or whatever, and you clearly see this motherfucker honing in on your partner? They really don't make an attempt to talk to you, you know, but they on your partner. It's like they clearly want to play, and it's like,
Oh, I'll do
What do
you
you
one
do?
better.
How do you
I'll
do?
do. I'm about to say I'll do you one better. I had a situation like this, and this heifer was bold. She was very bold. She even asked for a request that was theirs from when they dated. She asked if she could play with him because she was on her period.
oh,
Oh yeah, brazen. So it's not about jealousy. I very much was territorial, and I don't play about mine. You know, he knows up front that I'm territorial. He told me up front that he's territorial. And so, but I was in a situation, I was at a venue where I couldn't cut up at this place out of respect for the person who was hosting it. And so you really feeling it because you can't let it out. But I made it very clear before it was all said and done. That's mine. It was yours once upon a time. Your loan is up, but that's mine. Try that shit again and we got a problem. And I said it to her, woman to woman. It wasn't in public venues, and no, there was no audience. It was between me and her, woman to woman. I'm addressing you as a woman. Don't disrespect me like that. One, you know better. You've been doing this longer than I have, and let's take the LS out. We got our women code. There's certain stuff you don't do. So if you gonna take the, basically not follow that, break that, I'm gonna take that as you taking a shot at me, and I'm gonna take one right back at your ass.
and the first line of defense between, in my opinion, the first line of defense between you and any shit popping off should be your motherfucking partner's reaction.
That part, I was just gonna say
You
that.
know, because they know what it is before any of that shit
So,
starts.
so can I see the mic real quick? So coming from a man, from a no shot fired, ladies, but coming from a man. So no, it's not. So check this out. Check this out. So we didn't. I mean, every man that's in a couple has felt that. Where this motherfucker want baby bad. You hear me? He want her bad. And at the end of the day, I may have said what's up to him, but he may have shook my head kind of sideways. And what I have personally going on with him, I have to give him respect, right? Because at the end of the day, check this out. This is just coming from me. I've been to a situation or a party, and I know that man, he can pull the body out. I want her, every time she go that way, he going that way. You feel me? And it's like, big game, player. You feel me? So it's like peep game, you know. And at that point, you have to realize is that man gonna respect the dynamics? Because any true bull or whatever you want to call him, gonna respect that dynamic in that
So
relationship.
can I ask all
So-
you couples a question? So there was a situation because I'm very new to being in a relationship. I've been in a unicorn race my entire time being LS. And the male answered first. So I messaged both the male and the female asking them this, and the male responded first, and he was like, "I don't know about that. You know how my lady might feel about it, but would you mind if I had brought in a different play partner?" So basically, he was subbing his wife out. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, and then I'm new to this, being in a relationship shit. So I'm thinking in my mind, I figure if one don't approve, both don't approve, is what that means.
Right.
1 equals 2.
It should
I know
be
that's
right,
the first time
right.
it ever did, but 1 equals 2 today.
You want to bring another
So-
person into the no.
You can't do that, right? Because you fucking up the dynamics right there at that point, you know, right? Because if I met you,
Say no off top.
There you go.
I
It's
did.
a no. It's a no.
And as that because
Where is your wife?
let me.
that's the thing.
I
One
gotta-
of the things about
I got
communication.
right, but hold on, I got a topic on that because if like I was speaking on earlier, we hone in on that. We in a couple. I know, baby, he want baby bad, right? So it's up to me at that point. I'm a man. I'm gonna stand up for mine, right? So I'm gonna pull a player to the side. That's me. You know, I'm gonna find out what it is because I'm seeing these strange things happen. But you know, we all know there's a respect level in the lifestyle, right? And if he's not used to it, he might just be a stray opportunist. So I need to find this out though, because I need to find out.
You
You
vet.
know,
That's
I'm vetting, right?
Sometimes the realest nigga in the building is a man that can walk up to the husband, the boyfriend, the fiance, the baby daddy, and be like, yo, I'm feeling your girl. Do you mind if we blah 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 blah? And what you gonna do?
Or even the dude in return, like
What
he
you
said,
gonna
going
do?
up to do
As
is
a
like,
man,
hey,
what
I
you gonna
noticed
do?
you.
What's
like,
happening? I
or
see
how
you
you
right
done,
there.
you know.
Right? Are you done? What's happening?
You know,
She
what
open
you
to
do?
it. She mentioned you. She seen you at the door. What's happening? Because you don't understand our dynamic, right?
Are you
And
men
you just
that
met us.
Because a lot of men know. A lot
I
of
know
men.
that though.
A lot of men know. When you walk in with your significant other, I'm talking about for the couple, as a man, when you walk in there and you know your significant other is popping as a man, you know, like,
I know what you want. You want some dick.
yeah. And you see the single niggas like, yo, I done been to parties, nigga. Been to parties, I ain't know, but a couple folks at the party. And as soon as my wife walked out, I'm right behind her, you know what I'm saying? As soon as she walked out, I seen all the single niggas like, yeah, who was that?
Right.
Yeah. And then, you know, I walk up, now I don't know hate and shit, like, oh, that's my wife. Like, I'm proud of my wife. Walk out there, baby, look clean, look pretty, look beautiful.
You represent me at the
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Yeah.
But when I walked up, niggas like, nah, don't get scared, nigga. We all for the same motherfucking shit. Nigga, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
don't
the
get
thing.
scared.
Like
Don't
we've
get
had guys
scared.
who will approach me when baby turn his back.
Yeah,
And so then when he walked up, he'd be, oh no,
that's sneaky shit. That's sneaky shit.
Well, I guess I have a question for the men.
Right.
I have a question for the men. How do you feel about if a male wants to play with your mate? Do you have a problem with, or she wants to play with him? Do you have a problem with her going to him, or do you have a? Do you want to approach him, or how does that normally work?
If your mate, if your wife, girlfriend, baby mama, fiance, whatever she is feeling somebody, my wife can told me to my face, nigga, in front of niggas. Bow. Just like that. And
Mic check.
What you
a
had
lame
said.
nigga be like, oh, bitch, you looking at that nigga good. I be like, oh, but what make it so cool, she always sees a nigga that remind her of me. Like, on some real nigga shit, like, oh, baby, she look like, he look like you. He ain't got no dreads, or he got muscle, or whatever, but he look like you. So, it's not it's not no she trying to boost my confidence. It's like she sees me. So I'll be like, all right, you know.
No, but I was really asking, like, how would you feel in that situation if Shanika went? Would you prefer Shanika to go and approach the male, or would you go and approach him or her?
I would, and see. Okay. Wait a minute. So that's
Okay,
for you guys. For both.
Okay.
For me, I'd rather.
He'll be like, go ahead, or he'll tell. Or he'll go and I'd be like,
I done had niggas approach
go
me
get
like,
him for me.
yeah.
So let me give you our side of the tracks, cause
We've done both. So yeah.
and this is gonna help some of y'all out in the future. When it comes to me and Coffee is always going to state his opinion about a dude, and he'll let the dude know if it's a yes or no coming from him. But ultimately, he's always going to tell you it's up to me, which means you're going to have to come back to me anyway.
Right.
Now, I already know Coffee moves like that. I already know that's what Coffee's going to do when I send y'all to Coffee. The reason why I send you to Coffee, though, is it's a respect level. A respect level from me as his mate to acknowledge who my king is in this at all times. He don't ask that of me. That's something I do because that's me. But I'm also checking to see who holds the mentality that I feel is sufficient to support what I got going on in my relationship. And if your struggle is in approaching my dude to ask to play with me, then I already don't want to play with you. Now, you can ask me all day long, that's fine, but if you come ask me first, which some of y'all have, y'all can attest that I send you to go ask the person that I'm with currently, are they cool with it, and then we can go from there. And that's a personal decision.
Let me ask y'all something. Let me ask y'all, I don't mean to cut you off. I should have got the table.
Which I done told you.
Let me ask y'all ladies something. How y'all know that a woman is being like super extra, like, I bitch, need love.
I was gonna say we just know.
Right, it's just women's
Super extra what?
What's the key?
Super extra what?
Like, okay, I'm friendly. My wife knows I'm friendly. You know what I'm saying? My son and Pisces, you know, all day friendly. So my wife know me inside and out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to a lady. You know what I'm saying? And she might do something. Oh, you so funny. You good. You know what I'm saying?
And she not acknowledging the wife. That's what
That
you're saying.
part.
That part.
It's key that you say that. A lot of unicorns will attest to my situation because I share mine. I actually be trying to stop putting me out there like the sponsor, but you know. That did good. So I be like, yo, go bless somebody. You know, I be trying to bless people. You know, I be trying to, the work week be stressful and shit. You know, let's work some kinks and shit out. But unicorns, which I've been at as well, you'll find that, how they say, and I don't so much like the statement, but it does apply, you attract more bees with honey, or flies with honey than with vinegar. If you're navigating these realms as a unicorn, you're going to learn that the vibe that you have with the female in that dynamic gets you so much further than just having a vibe with him.
Right.
When a female and a couple feel like you get it, you understand it, you know what I'm saying? You ain't coming with no bullshit, no drama. You just trying to have a good time. You know, you see her, she see you. It's all love. Hey, girl, what's going on? The whole nine. She's more willing to share what she loves and what she cherishes with you, versus the one that every time we walk in the room, you only got something to say to him. Now, and I'm not talking about sex right now. I'm talking about a vibe.
Right.
You ain't gotta fuck me. We ain't gotta have not near such.
But I feel like this is one of the telltale signs, at least for me, that they're dealing with a female or unicorn that's of a good vibe. Because mostly the wife ain't gonna let him play with you no damn way if she not feeling the vibe to begin
She's
with.
gonna shut it down. And if you do get in there, she'll shut that shit down. She's gonna be like,
so that's why I
yeah.
feel like, especially having been a unicorn a long time, I've always appreciated one of my favorite compliments what couples will say, but more so the female. I like you because you cool.
do X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. Because I tell them I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm not trying to place with nobody. One of my rules for me as a unicorn, I never wanted to be a girlfriend.
Because here's the thing about it, if I'm being a girlfriend, I'm committing. I know what I come to the table with. I'm not a girlfriend, I'm wife material. So with that being said, that doesn't get limited because now I'm in a dynamic. But see, I want my own lane with my own person. So I never agreed to ever be a throuple with anybody. I was what I said, a freelance hoe. Because I don't.
But like, what do you do if what do you do if as a man or a woman you do feel that that person isn't feeling you but they are feeling your partner, but your partner's feeling them too? What do you do? Do you
For us,
that you did that
for us,
shit?
we did that shit.
Yeah, it's on with.
For us,
It gotta be on with.
and every couple's different. I'm not saying you gotta. If somebody's not feeling, it's a couple, and somebody wants to get with only one part of that couple. They not feeling the other part.
Yeah, because obviously your partner be blindsided. They be like, I don't see that, babe. Like they see you cool
They ain't
with
taking
you.
one for
You
the
know,
team.
they see you cool.
So-
What
so
do you
from-
do? You
from-
let her go ahead
No. From a man, from a man point of view, like
fulfill the dream, or do you dead that?
like I said earlier, we all have been there before. We can feel that shit. Right? I'm telling, we can feel that shit. So when, like for instance, we got it's a person, and like for instance, if you my girl Facebook friend and we in the lifestyle together, you're not my friend. We look at that type of shit. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like, what you trying to hide from me that you can't show us both? Well, you sending her right? You sending her flyers to certain shit, but you don't send it to me.
And here's one for me as a female.
You know, so,
And I know this might sound different, but when men tell me, "Oh, do you got Snapchat?" What do you say, grown, and you talking Snapchat? No, the only thing Snapchat provides you is the ability for that shit to disappear in seconds. So who are you hoping don't
No
see
face,
your
no
shit?
case.
so right.
I don't want
So guess what? So when we do recognize that type of shit and true lifestyles, I believe we got to make that shit be known. That's communication. Like me,
I
your
wanna
boy is sending you flyers and shit, but I ain't getting out with
What's
that.
good with that? That's going back to that table.
But see, she might be naive to the fact like, dang, he's just
Exactly.
friendly.
But see, this is why you got each
We-
other. You got each
Right,
other to
right.
be each other's back.
That's it,
Okay,
that's it.
in all things. When it comes to the LS too. So what I might see, he may not see, and what he see, I might not see. Now, are there times where a play partner may not be my field? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to deny him.
See?
Yes. But
here's
this is the
another
reason.
one,
But
too.
this is the reason why. I'm gonna tell y'all the difference, though. I'm gonna tell you the difference of where the yes comes in at. I'm not gonna feel every chick that Coffee feeling. He ain't gonna feel every dude I'm feeling. It's about a respect thing. If you enter in and you could be respectful towards what it is that we have, understanding I'm his lady, that's my man, whatever. We're at a level in this thing that the okay will be given, even though I might not be digging you like that. Where the no comes in at, though, usually 9 times out of 10, when it's somebody that ain't feeling one of the two, that individual does not know how to conduct themselves. So when they come around, all the focus is just about the mate that they do like. And they're disrespecting the mate that they don't vibe with. And that's where the no comes in at, because that's division.
But see,
That's
that's
the
another
vision.
thing. Also recognize when there's bad energy too.
Right.
I've been in a situation where I went to a female and I asked her how does she feel about me playing with her dude. Her mouth said yes, but her body language said no. To this day, I haven't played with them because I really gotta know, even though she
Are
said
you
yes.
sure? Are you
Because
sure?
I'm just I'm like I can make a choice and I can do.
Yeah.
You know,
I could do
something,
it, but
I already know it's gonna come with some bullshit on the back.
And you have to
So-
ask those questions early because motherfuckers will let you get butt fucking naked mid-stroke and get in their feelings.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
so
And that's exactly what the fuck would have
you know,
happened.
like,
And I was like,
funny.
nah, I feel that no. You think I don't feel that no because you said yes.
Yeah.
But
But
I
it's
felt
there.
every bit of that
It's
damn
there.
no.
I think that's important because if we don't recognize that, you gotta be honest with that shit, man. You gotta recognize that, and you gotta feel that. You can't just be in here blind and emotionless at the end of the day.
Right.
People, I think they get it misconstrued that we emotionless because That's not true.
It's not true.
I think
You know
some
what I'm
people
saying?
see
So-
shit coming and they try to act like I didn't know it was coming. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
You saw that
You
this
saw that
would've
shit
went
was
back.
coming.
You made a choice
Right.
at the front end.
Right.
Yeah.
You
So,
just didn't think it was gonna go this far.
Right. You didn't think it was gonna go this deep,
so
and it went this deep. You like,
what
and
the
you
lifestyle
riding
do-
it.
Right. What the lifestyle do is call your car. It definitely will pull your goddamn car. If you can't fake
Every
it,
time.
you can't hear
I
it.
say it like I say it and say it and say it and say it and say it again. What the fuck you got away with in the vanilla world?
No.
It's gonna be hard to get away with over here in the lifestyle world because the lifestyle challenges you to step up.
Let me ask a personal question. I'm asking everybody that's sitting right at this table. Who is the most toxic sign you've ever been?
Gemini.
Gemini.
The one I married. I'm not gonna lie.
Gemini. I'm sorry, y'all Geminis out there, but Gemini.
Virgo. I love you to death, but I'm serious. You know it.
Look at that face. Gemini.
Turn was everything.
Wasn't expecting that. No.
Y'all sex be the bomb, but them damn Geminis, my
toxic.
God.
You know, I have to second that shit.
I mean, not like
Gemini?
Motherfucking
They
Gemini,
bad
boy.
They bad people.
Let me rephrase it.
This one
No,
in
you didn't.
particular.
You said it right.
Who has the best sex as far as zodiac sign in the
Libra.
Scorpio.
Libra.
So why you say Scorpio?
Libra.
It's just,
You a
I
Scorpio?
mean, me and a Scorpio, because I'm a Scorpio, so two Scorpios together is just like
Y'all be
that.
banging, y'all be
Just
busting.
like two Pisces together. It's
What
like,
about
yes,
two Leos?
as far as sex, I'm not talking about relationships. You said sex.
I think
Sex
they
is just
are
magnetic.
Now I would say for me the best zodiacs sex wise, my top three. Libra, Gemini, Cancer. Y'all motherfuckers, them three. Them three.
I ain't gonna lie, my favorite is.
I put a Leo and then comes Leo and I keep on. And the only reason why Leo is four because the ex the kid's dad is a
Damn,
motherfucking Leo.
Only
Fuck
reason
y'all.
is because they'll throw a tantrum if you don't put the ass in there.
What did you say? Pisces is
What you say, Gemini?
I
your
just,
top
The
three.
best?
my top three, sex wise, I would have to say Gemini, Pisces, probably Sagittarius.
A Sag?
Top three.
Top three.
Sag, they decent. Okay.
What's your top three?
I would say a Leo.
Play with a few.
Better say a Leo.
You understand that?
I had to suck
You
my
better
mouth
have to
for that.
have motherfucking Leo.
Leo and a Libra.
Motherfucking Libras, boy.
That's
Top three.
So my,
What's your top three?
my top three, she was light skinned, she was this person right here.
Right.
And I don't know, because I don't really, the astrology is important to me, but I don't really, the dynamics of it.
I don't pay attention to. I just have to be.
I know you lying.
She was Puerto Rican, shit, I don't know.
I know you motherfucking lying. You can't name nothing. Name one.
Like the top three are all Virgos, so I would have to say Virgo, Virgo, Virgo.
Oh, goddamn, I'm sleeping on the Virgos.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, so I would say top three. I'm gonna say Scorpio, Libra, Leo.
Y'all motherfucking Libras, boy. Shit.
Well, first of all, Pisces is always the top. So,
Full of himself.
Magnetic, like
Scorpio too. Scorpio and the tie between Gemini and Taurus.
Hey, I know I was in there some motherfucking way. Shit. I fucking sit here like, nigga, let me in. Let me in. I know what the fuck I be doing. Shit. I know what the fuck.
Okay, we talking. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Hold on,
What's
you
for us?
gotta do it.
Okay, so to be honest, the way that he sees about the whole astrology thing, I'm like that. But in my lifespan of me dealing with a lot of women, I've dealt with mostly Taurus, nothing just to. So she gonna go crazy.
That's number one. That's number number one.
She gonna shoot me in the face. But honestly, truthfully, I have dated a lot of Tauruses. I don't know why that's been like that.
You like us.
Libras, obviously.
Oh, you a Libra too?
Yeah. He's a Libra too. He's a
And
Libra. Rah, she's gonna buy. Get you some.
Ain't no Pisces. Yeah, you already know the Pisces on deck. You already know.
And them Leos, y'all have me out
We
here.
got one more.
Taurus,
Taurus, Libra, and who?
I had a dope Scorpio.
Ew.
You
see,
Look
look at God.
You better.
That's awesome.
You better.
Y'all crazy.
So I was gonna quickly say for the bi women here,
Hey, man, I
was
thank
that
y'all
your
for
list
checking
for
out, man.
just dick, for just women?
Okay, so that was my list for dick. Let me see who's my
That's what
fire.
This is unfair. No, I
She said, was that our list for just dick?
Damn, I gotta find out what her sign is.
Yeah. So you see how it differs? Exactly.
We gonna do that in the late night.
I'm looking up her sign right now. Hold on.
Who signed?
Aries.
She's somebody.
Okay, can I get in there?
Aries.
Yes.
Oh, you is Aries.
I don't know what the sign of the other one is.
Tim like to taste the
You
rainbow.
know Mars or
Aries.
April?
God damn, this motherfucker is an Aries. That motherfucker is an Aries. I just looked up their Facebook about info. That motherfucker is an Aries. Because I'm telling you, that chick took me through that motherfucker right there.
Let me see.
Woo!
We might be starting my
That motherfucker right there. That shit right there. Man, listen. Man, listen.
Jesus Christ. She said drop it off.
Find out. Find out.
I hate all y'all at this table. I hate
Find
all
out.
y'all. I hate all y'all at this table right now. I know you do.
That motherfucker right
So I
there.
missed that. It's all good. I love y'all too. But anyway,
Fuck me up.
You too.
Fuck me up. I ain't expect that.
Look, wait a minute. Look. Aries. Aries.
Motherfucker. Had you looking for where the fuck you at in the daytime? Like, shit, goddamn.
With the buffet. Don't worry about it. I know about that one.
Man, caught me off guard.
What's your best female? Female song.
This one, just a laugh.
I don't know.
This motherfucker back to back.
Aries, Taurus, and Capricorn.
They
we
go
got Goldie in
Taurus.
the building. We got Goldie in the
What happened?
building. You know what I'm saying? You sit right there, brother. We got Goldie in the building. Support. We got Keandre Kitchen.
Hey.
Shades and Keith. You know, we always support black
Sponsors. Yeah, we're looking for it. Come on.
Sue. Oh, yeah. My bad.
The food was delicious.
Yeah. You know my wife. My wife is really from the South. Y'all don't know. My wife is really from Georgia. But what's the best time you ever had at an LSFP?
Well, we talked about this before, but I'm gonna say it already. Niggas Black X.
That
Why
shit
you
was
had the
dope.
best time at that event?
It was just the vibe. It was like you couldn't escape all the sexuality. It was very thick and enriched in the air. It was as if somebody was just like, I don't know, it was like something in the venue. We was all just taking it in because we were all like one accord with the vibe, and it was just. I don't think
It was just a
anybody
dope
left there
night.
that didn't have a good time. Like it was a very dope night.
So
Gosh, I've had so many. Oh,
Right.
I would like to say my best experience would have been maybe the second time I went to an event in Indianapolis.
Which one?
With Dana at the clubhouse.
Right.
Long story short, shit, it was one of the first experiences I had. It was like, this is where I belong.
I know that's right. I'm home.
This is what's happening. Right, you know, because we see the shit on TV every day, and I'm gonna just keep it blunt. I can't do pink meat. I can't do
White
this.
girl.
I can't do raw pork and shit like that. And no. Listen, I can't do that. But listen, at the end of the day, I love that it's urban
the element,
feel
yeah.
and the element. And I'm into that shit. I love my black sisters, man. They beautiful, naked, dressed, clothed, professional. They, you know, at the end of the day, they just who they are. And for me, it was the best experience because listen, small, medium, big, light skin, dark skin, whatever the fact was, they was comfortable with being them. And that shit opened me up to be comfortable with being me as a man. Because, you know, we got to put on every day 24/9. You know, and it's that, not putting on, but we have to carry that weight.
Right.
You know, to be in an element or an environment where everybody's just like, shit, we cool. We
I heard something today. Women look at three things: his teeth, his personality, and his shoes.
And if he smell good too, right? If he smell good.
No, that's just what I look at.
So my first.
Motherfucking feet. You gotta check his feet out.
I'm looking at the
You heard it too, right? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I need to see him with socks off. Like I'm
Socks
not.
off?
Yeah.
Primarily
I want to
shoes.
know what the fuck should be scratching on my leg. Like what?
Before you even can get out of your clothes, I'm looking at your clothes. Before I even see you naked, I'm already
Because
looking at
let's
what's on
be
your
honest,
So,
we
yeah.
all have that one little small thing. It's actually very, very small,
Yeah.
but it will keep us from playing with somebody based off that little
That one
small,
little
that
thing.
little thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Body odor too.
Like for me, body odor, but I'm saying like you can't have like Kevin Durant BBs on your head. I love my natural people. I love that everybody is different. But what we can't do is you can't be in my face.
She voted for Trump. She voted for Trump.
Because this is how I think. If they're here, they're down there.
Quali, stay away.
Kevin Durant, I love you, bro. Hey, I love you, KD. I love you.
Too much money not to have a barber on call.
So I think that's important because you know what, it's right because me and Baby didn't joke 4 or 5 times, but we're like, it's the ankles for me.
Right.
Ankles or cankles?
Hey, listen, you got to put a little bit of lotion on them motherfuckers. You feel me? So we didn't joke, and then Baby, she hit me back with voice like, what?
Chapped lips, that one.
Like, right, chapped lips and shit. So at the end of the day, you right. So the dynamics of having to have a good time with somebody else in that sexual or euphoric feeling, listen, it's still a fantasy to me. Don't get it twisted. This is what we doing. It's still a fantasy to me. And I live it out every time we go out and have a good time. Like for me, I'm a natural giver. You have to know your position in your sexual orientation. So if you don't know, if you a giver, you like to make a motherfucker, you like to be in BDSM, or you like to, you know, you have to hone in on that again. You know, so me, I like to see my partner pleasured, regardless. That's from me, from who the fuck ever. You know, that's what get me to that point where this motherfucker is as hard as this. I hear that? That's the, you know, that get me there. You know.
Who got that?
I know, right?
So when Cam, when I'm like, Cam, bring your ass here. We get
I would be on the corner.
Here, Cam.
First little dollar and
That nigga tap the table. Shit. That nigga tap the table. Shit. We tapping tables and shit. I'm like, come here, Cam. Shit.
I'll be over the court talking about, ooh, yes, that's it. What happened? No,
That's me too, though.
but you know what I mean? You got to know that about yourself to be in this lifestyle because it opens up different shit for you. You know what I'm saying? Because if we were still vanilla,
Right.
we would be
I don't think
afraid
I
to
ever
be
been
in tune
vanilla.
with that. You know what I mean? But it's always in us. I
I
grew up
think
in a
I've ever
room
been vanilla.
ordering porn.
You've been in that vanilla world.
I have been in the
You
vanilla
haven't been
world,
vanilla. You was in the vanilla
Right.
but I don't think I've ever been
I ain't
vanilla
gonna lie.
Never been
Me.
vanilla, but you can be out with
personally.
it.
But I've been
I'm going
in
off
that
topic.
world.
I'm sorry,
Where
man.
people
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
they turn their nose up, but
I ain't
to
gonna
me,
lie.
I'm turned on by the shit, and they.
I can say I've always been turned on, not understanding what it was I was turned on to.
I didn't know.
So mine
it
was the yin and the yang. It was like, I like that shit,
Okay,
but I
I
don't
can't
like
say
that
I
shit.
didn't know
You
it
know
was
what I'm saying?
different.
Like, y'all, I
I
want
didn't
you
know
to
it
fuck
was
my
a
nigga, but I don't
whole
want you to fuck my
community
nigga.
of people.
You know?
Like
Like, I don't know
me.
why
I
I
can say
feel like
that.
that when you fucking him, but at the same time, I don't like you fucking him. I went through all that, you know?
I ain't
Like,
gonna lie, the best
like, all right,
scene-
well, why
the
we
best
keep
scene
doing this
you
shit
ever
then
watched.
if you don't like like it because I like it.
Because I'm tell you why, like when we're LS, we are our most freest self.
Right.
And the reason we're vanilla is we're living off of society's norms, so it's almost like being captive. You
Right.
captivity's fighting
Right.
against
You're in
freedom.
jail.
That's basically what it is. One is versus the other in that moment.
You're in jail.
What, can I ask
Trying
that
to get
question? What was your favorite lifetime experience?
I haven't had that.
On the
many.
spot, y'all. You see, that's how I do
I
shit.
mean,
I love that answer.
That nigga weak, nigga.
this upcoming event will be my first major
Okay,
event.
Okay.
But
But-
this gathering, I want to say, because you
I
said
mean,
you ain't
when
obviously,
last time you felt
Royal's
free?
birthday party.
Oh, wow, obviously. What happened? What happened with them?
Who wait a minute?
Because,
Where my
well,
napkin
well,
at?
obviously to him, not obviously to everybody, but that was a live ass party.
That was kind of her first one.
That was my first time coming to EAP.
Who
Period.
birthday?
Royal.
Okay.
You know,
So what y'all do at,
Juneteenth.
what y'all,
No,
her birthday.
what y'all do at my birthday party?
So,
That was my first time meeting
Together.
y'all.
What?
period.
Oh, right, everybody together.
but no. Me and her going to an event
Together? Oh, really?
That was our first time.
So breaking the bubble between our relationship was. First of all, let me just tell y'all something. Baby, hold on. Baby was motherfucking ready. You hear me? Because it wasn't that I hyped it up to the lifestyle. I told her what it is. I didn't hide it from her. I said,
Y'all almost didn't make that birthday
We
party.
didn't, but-
I remember talking to him. He was like, I gotta get off the flight and da-da-da. I was like, yo, just bring your ass. I don't care what
"Hey,
time
listen,
y'all
we was
come."
on our way because listen, for
But you felt comfortable.
I felt
when
comfortable.
You seen folks from Indianapolis.
at the gate,
You felt comfortable.
comfortable because at the end of the day, they know me and they know I'm not gonna bring bullshit.
Right.
And if I bring my mate here, guess what? She with the shits. Or they gonna figure. She
was
was.
with the
So
shit.
when and like Royal
with the
and
shit.
everybody and you guys have restated multiple times when we came in, it was a natural. We're not putting on. When we go home, we don't argue.
Right, we know.
Not about what we do, because at the end of the day, guess what? She's gonna be special to me, in or out this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what's important to me and her. This shit is fun and it's everything. I was married for 12 years. Cam hasn't been married, but at the end of the day, she knows me. And that's what's important.
So you trying to propose?
What had happened was motherfucking Mike is kind of Mike Katrina.
You trying to propose on what's the skinny? I got an exclusive, nigga.
Breaking news.
I just want to say,
Breaking news. At the top of the hour.
celebrate two weddings.
We all saying check.
Yeah, put your glasses on, Rob. You gotta get
now.
other self.
You gotta get a dress for two.
Okay.
Coming soon.
But,
That's
y'all
what's
still ain't answering
What?
the best experience y'all had in the lifestyle.
We jumped over it.
Yeah, y'all came all over the question, but it's all good.
I would say my best experience thus far is probably a little off, I would say weird, maybe off kilter, because I was in a long-term relationship where I could not really enjoy myself in the lifestyle. But the very first event that I was able to go to by myself, I had
Turn the
a
fuck up.
blast. And
Fuck up.
You had 2 balls and 1 ball.
boy, I had a few balls. How about that? How about that?
Ain't nothing like coming out the relationship. I'm
Come
fuck
on
y'all.
now,
I'm single
so-
now.
That part.
I was-
Listen.
Yeah, so
Talking
I
about
was
going
like,
up through there.
This shit.
thus far, yeah. My first event by myself was a blast.
I just on the tip of her motherfucking way. Spit it out.
She reliving it right now. Let her have that moment.
It's been a couple of them.
Man, listen. Whew.
I can't even pinpoint just one. It's been a few. I'm gonna say this one. The first female male you gave me at your house.
We used to have a lot of those. It's like, damn.
Rocked on.
Latonia. Pool Creek.
That part.
Pool Creek used
I
to be
think
the
I think
shit.
that was my favorite. My first.
Yeah.
Oh, she coming back. Oh!
That was
We gonna
fun.
come back to
I
you, boo.
didn't know we
We
were
gonna come back to you,
specific.
boo.
That was
Nah,
my
nah.
event.
Go ahead, boo. Go ahead. We
Event.
gonna come back to it.
That part, she felt me. You felt me.
But if
That
we
part.
get into specifics, it was probably my first male, female, male. That was pretty fun.
It was a surprise.
That-
and, yeah. it
Mine was
just
too.
fucking
That
awesome.
shit was fun.
Well, if we know specifics, I think mine was the first. You know those like intimate hotel room invites, and it's like maybe 6 to 10 people, and y'all all know what's up. It don't have to be said. You wouldn't have got this invite if you didn't understand what was up. And it's just, if you want looking and watching, it's because you want to intermission, get your Gatorade, get your electrolytes back up, go back in,
Smoke break. That's a smoke break.
like coach going back in the game. You know, like that for me. Now that one was a really good time. You know, it was the vibe was right, like, and it happened organically. You know, like.
So for I was on the road, right? Oh.
I got a whole bunch like White said, but the one that was really like cool was at a hotel takeover on the fire escape.
How many people been on the fire escape? How many motherfuckers been out there on the balcony rocking that motherfucker?
I ain't getting put out. Me and my wife getting put out, but nigga, that fire escape was rocking.
The Ramada.
No.
Not the Ramada. What was this one?
Howard Johnson.
We can't go back to
Right
that.
next-
Damn! That one that everybody got put out.
Back to that bitch. We can't go.
That
That's what I
shit.
said. Everybody got put.
Everybody got put out of that
Everybody
one.
got put the fuck out. But yeah, that was That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I've had so many. I can't, man. Listen, I had some great times in the LS. I will say, as far as event wise, like hotel takeovers and stuff like that, because all the shits at Pool Creek used to be lit. We used to have fun. But there was one hotel takeover where I got the fuck in the staircase, and the security guard passed us like, oh, okay, and kept on going, and he came back up. Piss smell and all, but we were fucking like a motherfucker in that staircase. I felt so motherfucking free. I felt free. I felt free to be. Motherfucker popped the squat at the top of the stairs and caught him a view, and it went down. And that was a time where it was like Josh was saying, like, yeah, this is where, and I had already been in for a minute, but like, yeah, this is where the hell I'm supposed to be, right here, where you can go do shit like this, like, come on and bring your ass. We couldn't find nowhere else to go but the fucking staircase. Guess what? We're gonna do it right here. That shit was fire.
Hey, that red light district.
Hey.
And that's the thing, like, look, check me out. So I was on the road, right? I was traveling on the road for work, and at the end of the day, I found myself in situations, right? I'm on the road 100%. Long story short, so I'm in a situation where anything that I'm into is there. You get what I'm saying? You can find it. I don't know if y'all know what's on the road, but they truck drivers or whatever, but they can find it, right? So for me, it was more of, I wasn't really nasty with it type shit, but I found myself in strip clubs that was actually a mechanic shop at 3:30 in the morning.
Alright, son of that.
But yo, that truck is spacious too. I have been on a few trucks.
You feel what I'm saying? So for me,
Truck drivers, and they got a whole living space in the back of
You
that.
guys don't follow his tips.
but I'm being real.
No, I got a friend of mine. He's a truck driver, and I didn't know what y'all's trucks look like on the inside. But I wanted this motherfucker had
Whole bed.
hot plate, whole bed,
Listen,
like a
so-
canopy with a microwave fridge. I said,
He
you
had
got
the whole
house
pad
in
laid
this
out.
bitch.
So like you said earlier, you really living the lifestyle. You know what I mean? But then, like, I was in a situation where I had to go back home and be
Pull all that shit back
Al Bundy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Al was Al Bundy.
I think
Like,
Ward Cruiser was better because I was an asshole.
or I was what's that? No.
He is too.
Yeah. So therefore, listen. So to open me up to being me.
I ain't know that Al Bundy passed more touchdowns, poke high.
You hear me? I'm still trying to top his record. But so I was, I got tired of being that role. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to change. I had a question to pose to everybody in the group. How do you change the dynamics of your mind frame when you have accepted accepted who you are. You get what I'm saying? Because to us, to certain people, they look at you in a certain way.
Okay, so some of my fuck you comes from, I'm 48, y'all. You know, after living life for a certain period of time, you get to a point that you go through enough in life that you like fuck what people gotta say, think, feel, see, whatever. Because you're only granted but so many years on this world, you know, on this earth, and you don't know how many of those years you're granted. So you're supposed to be living your life to the fullest. But I understand in younger years, you know, you got so many people that you're trying to get approval from and meet their standards and all of that. But then comes an age in life where you understand that to thyself be true. Because you only get one. You know, somebody's always going to have something to say about what you do, what you say, how you are, whatever. And the best way I deal with that is fuck you and your opinion, because this is my life and I got to live it. I don't expect everybody to agree with my thought process or how I move, but as long as I can look at the man in the mirror and I'm cool with how we're moving and what we're doing, then that's all that matters. Now that I have a mate, soon to be husband, it's another entity. Okay, so I had to plug that a little bit.
You know what my mom used to tell me, though, Roy? She used to tell me, she said, Mom used to say, listen, at the end of the day, you will be judged by one. In accordance to one. So at the end of the day, you know, my whole life has been new, y'all. You know, at the end of the day, so this lifestyle thing is more of a free you than more of a tie me down. So at the end of the day, it's for me and my partner, future wife.
Hey. Y'all heard that. Damn, Cam. That thing go.
Shit,
Because y'all had said the first.
the back of my neck got the sweat when I said that. But at the end of the day, you know what? She makes me happy because she accepts the fact that we can accept each other. You know, that's the hardest thing for me. I don't want to keep going back to a deep subject, but to answer, you know, to go back, the great times that we do have at the events is because of that. You know what I mean? In a relationship. Now, when I was single, I was more introverted. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I didn't know too many people, and long story short, but I had a mentor, you know, that was like, hey, Josh, listen, you look like you uptight right now. You all right? What's up? You know, and that helped me because I was in the corner like, wait a minute. These niggas
I
out here butt
would
naked.
think coming into the lifestyle as a bull is the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you don't know anybody coming in already. I would think that is tough.
I feel like men have to prove themselves more than women do. As far as, like, you know, like I said, being a single person, like, I think it would be harder for them. But it was like you were saying, as far as accepting who you are, you also got to be honest about who you are. Like, for me, when I was a unicorn, part of the reason I was a unicorn, not because I wasn't ready, I didn't want to compromise. I didn't want to engage nobody's opinion on how they felt on anything. I didn't want your feelings. I didn't want your jealousy. So because I knew that, and it's selfish to some degree, but in my selfishness, I'm like, I don't have it to give because I don't want to. I mean, I do have, but I don't want to give it. So I would remain the unicorn for those reasons and reasons alone. I got to move as I wanted, do what I wanted, and who was I to roll over and ask, like, how you feel about that? Nobody. But be honest, if that's what you want, because I see a lot of couples, I've dealt with couples, the dude want to do what he want to do, but he don't want his woman moving the same, because if she move like that, he gonna have a fit. But he want to do what he want to do, and not have to take her into consideration. You know, so be honest about what you want or what you don't want to give.
That goes back to a person can only do to you what you allow them to do to, and I do agree, Danielle. It's a lot of that goes on in a lifestyle, and I'm seeing more and more lately the flip-flop. I'm seeing where women are now doing it to the men. You have men that are coming in and they're understanding how this is supposed to go, and now the females are the ones that's trying to live their best life and trying to cuff the dude and telling him who he can fuck and who he can't fuck and all this kind of shit. It's on both sides. But it goes back again to, folks, people can only do to you what you allow them to do. And this is a touchy area because you have people that are going to listen to this podcast or watch the live that are in relationships that they know this is speaking to them. And nobody at this table can give you a textbook or tell you, how to deal with your mate as far as the relationship you're in. But at the same time, if you know your mate is fucking as free as they want to fuck and you want to be doing the same, that's truly what you want to be doing, and you're not making sure that it's an equal scale, then you really don't have too much you can be complaining about, because we're all adults. Now, wherever you allowed yourself to end up at in your relationship with someone holds that level of power or authority over you that the scales cannot be balanced, that's an internal thing that the LS cannot fix. You have to look at yourself and you have to look at your relationship. You know your mate better than anybody else, but you know what you've also allowed in that situation. Now, my new couples coming into this, ladies and men, if you know you do want dick outside and pussy outside of your relationship, then it's up to you to make sure that your mate is aware of that and that you're receiving just as much as you're giving out. And if the scales become imbalanced, then it's your responsibility to say, hey, we need to talk. We need to sit down because I want to fuck like you fucking.
Or men, I had a situation. I was out at a LS location with a friend, and he said, I like that girl. I said, well, I'm going to go talk to her. So I'm talking to her. She said she really wasn't into playing with other men, and then she proceeded to tell me that she was married. So I felt it was my responsibility to ask. I said, your husband, are you coming? He knows that I'm out, but he doesn't know that I'm here. That was all I needed to hear. I told him, I said, don't touch that. You ever see her in here, don't touch that. I said, because anybody who isn't honest with their partner, who isn't a part of this, you will already setting yourself up, because you don't know what that person is liable to do. Jealous husbands sometimes have no bounds, as well as jealous wives. So if you already know up front that they have a partner that's in the dark, do not touch that person. No pussy or no dick is worth what can possibly happen if that shit goes south.
So let me ask you, Ron, can I ask you a question real quick? So, I'm going to ask the panel a question. The question for me would be, in a situation, right? You and your partners in the lifestyle, right? You guys are, you've been in 3 or 4 events, right? So things that happen at the end of the day, right? And after the fact, the communication is not where it was. You get what I'm saying?
Awkward.
It's awkward. At that moment, is it okay for you to say, hey, look, let's just take a break and reevaluate us? Because I think stepping back from it, I think, is important. You know what I mean?
Wise.
For me,
That's wisdom.
Right.
that's my friend.
Stepping back from what though? What
So-
exactly, or would you be stepping back?
So that's what I was saying. So stepping back from playing, because the environment's always gonna be the same.
Where though? Because for us, I don't believe there's a stepping back, because this is our life.
Okay.
What are you stepping back from?
So
Stepping
for
back
like
from
us, we do firmly believe if you start going through chaotic things inside of your relationship, communications off,
stepping back from events.
from
Okay,
events
that
and
part,
playing
yes.
and stuff like that. Like if you're going, because remember
Playing,
everything.
no, because we still gonna do us. We
Right.
still gonna
No,
have
y'all
us.
still y'all
Right.
two play and y'all could do y'all.
You know what I'm
like
saying?
if that
No,
works
not
for-
just
I
us
understand
two,
what you're
but
saying. Y'all might
outside-
invite somebody
That
over
part,
and play.
that.
That might, and some couples actually can do that. So what I would say on
That's
that,
a level. Okay.
I do believe in, now where Nika's at, where Dub is at on it is where I'm at. When people say, do you feel you're ever going to lead the lifestyle? I am the lifestyle. What am I leaving?
That part.
So
What
I
am I
get
leaving?
that part. The stepping back, remember I said with household, when home ain't right, everything that ain't right will spill over into the LS.
Okay.
So the
First
reason
4
why,
letters of lifestyle is what? Life.
like, so if that shit is not right, it's gonna spill over. So
That part.
Coffee and I have agreed with each other. If our shit start getting funny, we start bickering after events and shit, or like even a threesome or
That
whatever.
part, that
We coming
part.
at each other's throat and stuff.
Then,
It's time for
okay.
us to pause.
And look, we
Pause,
actually,
and
and
then
be
we
one,
okay.
and be one, and tighten
Now
back
that
up
part,
again, and
that's
figure
what
out
I'm on. But
and
as
figure
far
out
as
until we're solid. Once
stepping
we're
back, what am I
solid, then
stepping
we
back from?
engage again.
we can
we
step back
actually-
from going to these events.
right.
Let's chill for a minute. We gonna
Yeah,
stay at home,
let's pause.
which we do.
Because
We're
have to do
doing
that
that now.
Although we're new to the lifestyle, we haven't been through whatever.
Right.
It's life still happens, and we came into it, face first, and we had one session that was a fucking calamity. It was that motherfucker.
SAT word.
Look it up.
Word of the week.
A fucking disaster. So after that, on both parts, we decided that we had to take a step back for a minute, reevaluate a few things before we jump back in, because the lifestyle, like you said earlier, the lifestyle cannot affect home. It cannot affect home before everything else.
So we went to an event one time, long story short.
Coffee.
I want to hear. Yeah, I'm with you, Coffee. Let's go.
We went to an event one time. Right? And like I had to really check myself, right? It was like me and baby was playing. Long story short, then I'm doing my thing. Gold winner, number 1, top flight.
Tommy, you ain't got no job, man.
So long story short, I look up. It's 14 motherfuckers sitting around, baby. You get what I'm saying?
That was actually my first time.
That was our first time, right? So I look up and because she agreed to go to this event or this establishment.
Sex club.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And then, long story short, local here in Atlanta, it's dark. Anyway, so I'm doing my thing. Long story short, and I look up, it's 14 motherfuckers around, baby, right? And I say, oh Lord, Jesus,
Right, where all y'all come from?
Right, and at the end of the day, what I noticed is my mate's comfortability level in that moment. Motherfucker was like, overwhelming her. I said, you gonna fuck it up for me, nigga. Like,
I don't mind a few dicks, but 14 dicks in there, I'm like, that's shit, don't poke me.
So at the end of the day, me noticing that.
Get the fuck away from me! Oh my God!
It works for some.
Like I don't know how to cook.
It works for some.
I'm talking about, we was sitting on the couch,
God
y'all.
damn! When y'all
It
all
was standing up, it was on the couch behind, on the knees, on the back of the couch, jacking her dick.
Man, listen.
Like, listen,
bullshit, y'all.
enjoy, but.
So listen, when I
There's
noticed
a way.
when I
There's a way.
noticed, baby, I grabbed baby hand. I said, baby,
Come on, let's go.
baby kid. You know what I mean? As a man in a couple, you are your woman's protector.
That's right.
Period, point blank. You know
No
what I'm
matter
saying?
what's going on.
Regardless of what. So I grabbed baby hand. I said, baby, let's move around. Right? So we move around, right? We move to this different situation now. There's another. I call them what you call them? Vulcans. Vultures. Another vulture. He on the wall looking like. Anyway, he was over there. Anyway, he was over there in court. He said, well, man, look, man. I see, I can take you to the room. And I say, I ain't gonna tell the story. So anyway, he like, well, I can take you to the store. Like, we get a private room. And we, baby knew. I'm like, well, yeah, she would feel more comfortable. So anyway, we go to another room inside this establishment. And this is what people don't understand. And you go to a sex club, they have different arrays of events or talents or whatever the fuck they.
Raise, look it up. It says that.
So we go into this other room. It's pitch black.
So you don't know who's
We don't know who the fuck in here.
Right.
Wait a minute, this is the level up from where the fuck we was from.
So you left the frying pan and went into the fire.
You hear me?
To the fire, to the women, to the wall.
So baby, this motherfucker like, where are you? You know what I mean?
And I don't feel nothing but dick.
Right.
I'm looking for hands. Grab my hand, I'm feeling nothing but balls and dick. I gotta get out of here.
This podcast is off the chain right now. This podcast is off the chain right now.
I have a question.
Yo.
So recently I've seen something on Facebook where someone's talking about being shunned out of certain particulars in the LS. Do you feel like to some degree in the LS we have a responsibility to shun out toxicity, toxic people? Like it not be so much like, well, that's somebody else's business. That's their fallout with that group.
Hey man, don't be no fake ass nigga or no fake ass girl. Period. Don't jump in nobody inbox. Cause one thing about it, a man and a woman, I see somebody fuck good and then
I'm gonna say this because this is where the slippery slope comes in at. On one hand, we all want the freedom to live our lifestyle and have everybody mind their motherfucking business. We all are like that. What I do, what I got going on, don't got nothing to do with none of the rest of y'all, so on and so forth. But then you also got the side where people move wrong and are doing wrong that can affect the other people as the masses, as the whole picture. And it gets tricky because you don't want to be the one running reports and like, I saw so-and-so, so-and-so, and ain't supposed to be married, and ain't she supposed to be married? At the same time, if you know Joe Blow and Sally Sue out here fucking this one and that one and this one and that one, and you know they married, and you're not quite sure if the mate is aware, and all of that, and you know this could potentially hurt other people, at some point there's some level of responsibility to make sure that other people, especially group owners, party hosts, okay, are not affected by the arenas that you're allowing these people to be in. So I would say in the event you do feel something's off, you know, you witnessed, you know, that this person is claiming one thing, but yet they out here living something else, and it can potentially hurt people. I'm not saying it has to be broadcast to a whole group. I'm not saying just run reports and, you know, send the gossip train going. But if this is something that has taken place inside of a group, you have group owners that you can contact and, you know, just let them know what it is that you know. Whether you know it to be factual, you just sharing what you know and what you think.
But it got to be factual. Not what you think.
Not
what you're assuming.
Now, a good group owner, no matter what somebody brings to them, a good party host is going to do their due diligence, and they're going to go through the whole checklist. They're not just taking one person's side or whatever, but their responsibility is to check all the things and all the entities that are involved in a situation to get to the root of the situation to see what the truth is and to protect everybody that's involved in that situation. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with human beings, everybody ain't honest. And we can't turn a blind eye to everything that goes on inside of our community. We do hold a responsibility that if I'm over some folks and you all up in my group and you acting like you single, but you got a whole wife or husband at home.
Because some people lie better than others.
Very much so. If that information comes across my path, I hold a responsibility as a group owner to check the facts that be and figure out if this is what's going on and put you the hell about my group. Why? It ain't got nothing to do about if I like you or not. It got to do with the potential of the damage that you could do to other people that's just trying to be free and have fun and drama free. That's it. So it is a slippery slope. It ain't about we running reports. It's about we got to think about everybody involved in a situation.
How have you reacted to a person or a situation where it's your couple and you invited a couple over and the dynamics of that couple has fucked up the vibe? How have you reacted?
Bye.
Like, you know what I mean? Bye, simply put, right?
We sleepy. We got something to do in the morning.
Y'all bring that arguing shit over to my house.
Or straight up. That part. Or straight up.
Well, it's been real, y'all.
Y'all
Cause I got him and he got me, and we can fuck at the end of the garbage.
That
what
part.
we got about to do.
But
that
at
bullshit
the
y'all
unicorn
on.
being in the midst of that, it ain't
feel
fun
like
either.
me and Dr.
Because I have been in
Phil
that situation before.
And I was out of town on top of it.
Time to go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
I like this good content. I like the good content. You about to tear out right quick. Everybody announce your social media and all that. You know, we love going right there.
Shameless plugs.
Yeah. Follow whoever.
Royal Coffee Promotion. Y'all gotta say it again.
Make sure y'all follow them.
Royal Coffee Promotions. Your next party event. Anything you got going on, flyers, promotions, one-stop shop, y'all.
Joshua.Sanders690 Don't forget that. You know, hey, any
Not the email.
at Gmail, hit me up anytime, any questions. I'm available. Yeah.
Not nothing strange. Not nothing strange.
We work on that part of the business ain't been established yet, but we work on that.
We got
Coming to the
Goldie.
stage.
y'all for tuning in. Gonna have nice content that's gonna be printed out. And love everybody and love yourself. Out.
Like, subscribe.